This Drawmer compressor came in and would not power on, and upon further examination, I found that the mains fuse holder was snapped off, and the heater fuse was missing, and several of the socketed op amps throughout on both preamp boards were not fully seated. So I fully seated those, and I replaced the two fuse holders on the back, the mains and the HT, and I ordered the correct fuses and put all the fuses in. I powered it on, and this is what happened. There it goes. Comes on, then fades out. This power LED is tied to the negative 15 volt supply. So the first thing I need to do is see if just the negative 15 volt supply is going out or if all of them are going out. Well, I have found the issue. The schematic shows there are two fuses which are not present on the board. Instead, the traces here on the board have been cut and these inline components have been placed. And on this side of the inline components, we have AC. And on the other side, which is where the diode bridge is, giving us plus and minus whatever voltage, probably 24-ish, that would then go to the 15 and negative 15 regulators. We have these components here which are discolored and no voltage is crossing them. So I suspect this is some kind of inline fuse that I've not run into before. I will be removing these, seeing if there's a marking. Once I was able to get them out and look at them very close, this is as close as I can show you on the camera. They are R030s. They're made by Burns, about 35 cents each. So I've got 10 of them on order, and then hopefully this amp will come to life, or at least it'll let me trace down what other issue there is. I think I'm going to go ahead and add the regulators and the caps to that order and just do it all at once. It's not really shotgunning so much as seeing the immediate future. If these fuses blew, something blew them, the regulators and the caps are the most likely things to do that. They're inexpensive. Let's just do it, especially since the 7815 and 7915 form factor are being phased out. Let's get them while we can. All right, so I've got everything necessary out. I've got the two voltage regulators and their heat sinks out. I've got the two larger caps, the two smaller caps, and this third cap, which is unrelated, but it's the same 2200 microfarad SAMWA that these two were. Let's take a look at the components I removed. I threw away the voltage regulators. They were mismatched. One was original, one had already been changed out. These are the two heat sinks with old desiccated thermal compound. That'll be cleaned up and fresh compound will be installed when I put the new ones in. But between the mismatch tells me that one of them had already been changed, there's been a previous failure, and that the thermal compound was all dried up, not doing much. That could be the explanation for that problem. It's also possible there's one of these small caps, one of which is original, one was changed out later. They seem to be okay, but let's go ahead and change them. And then these three SAMWAs, this one looked a little bulgy at this end, which is why I changed it. And all three of them have got little bits of spooge coming out to various degrees here. So pretty sure this is the cause of those fuses going. But anyway, SAMWAs are being replaced by 105 degree rated 10,000 hour Nishikons. Same for the small caps. Some STI regulators are going in, and I'm about to clean up the thermal paste, and I'll install new thermal paste and rebuild it. Should be just as fresh as day one. So hopefully the compressor will be working fine at that point. All right, we got some things changed out. Let's start with these two new little inline fuses. They are working. The unit has been on for about 4 hours now after I finished my tests. And at that point, other than the pots needing cleaning, everything's been working just fine. The pots are clean, everything's been steady, nothing's a problem, so I can cover these up. I have this piece of paper in here to protect everything. It just sits just like this. Let me show you the other things that were changed out. All right, so those three larger caps, the two smaller caps, all of these got an increase in the temperature that they're rated for and the hours that they're rated for. These are like 12,000 hour caps. Got some new positive and negative voltage regulators there with some new thermal compound you can see. And all this is in place and solid. And I went through the rest of it, and any solder joints that looked like it might be a little solder star, if I touch those up, not much. This thing was really well built. Drawmer makes a good unit. This thing is extraordinarily well built and has lasted very well and should last another couple of decades with some routine maintenance. And now that it has the correct value fuses, it's much more likely to last those next few decades. All right, so now that we know it will actually stay on, let's power it on and let the tubes warm up a bit. And let's watch the needles dance. Can't let you hear it right now because all my XLR connectors are at the other side of the room. I wasn't going to rewire anything. I wasn't going to rewire anything just for this video. The one thing I've noticed is even if it goes stereo link, the gain is not exactly the same. So midway on the gain here is not the same as midway on the gain here as far as the print goes. These are not stepped or indented pots. So I don't know whether that's a variation in the circuit between the two channels or a variation in the pot tolerance and taper, or if it's a tube thing. So I may look into that a little bit before I call this done. Though I suspect it's just a matter of setting the output so you get the desired matching on each side. A little bit more research is required, but at least it works now. Big step forward. Thanks for watching.